Stop the gas station.
Page 164, questions.
Number 3.
6.
Yeah.
Notice. Did you hear me complaining about people not doing their work?
You know, someone took my book.
Did you hear me, Tage? No, you didn't, because I didn't complain,
Well, yeah, but.
because I'm done. Don't do it, I don't care. Does everybody understand that? Don't be a jerk. Get me in a better mood. Number 6.
It's
not helping. How much more or less did the Penders budget for transportation costs than they spent on transportation? You're gonna have to help me out in the book, so make sure you got your books open. Transportation cost. Do we have a total for transportation? Is there, I can't read the letters, or I can't read the words. So is there something that we can get a total for what they spend on transportation?
Yeah.
What are we adding together?
We have to find the amount budgeted and then the amount spent, right?
Right.
So then,
So how much did they budget?
there's 85 for gas and oil
Okay.
and 70 for parking.
So we're just going those two, right? So how much is that? 85 and 70. So that's the amount that they budgeted. Now, we want to know the amount that they actually spent. Did they give us something on those?
Yeah, 101.7 each and 50.
So add those two together, what's that give us?
151.70.
Did they budget more or spend more? They budgeted more, right? So when we do this, are they gonna be in the positive or in the negative? Positive. What do we do with those two numbers? Subtract them. Somebody help me out. Now, if I write 3.3 on the test that we're gonna take care of in a few minutes, I think, well, I'll take it today, shouldn't we? If we write 3.3 on the test, what's gonna happen?
Wrong.
It's gonna be wrong. And especially if Ebersole's feeling like a jerk. Before Peyton, he was like giving you partial credit and stuff like that and saying he was gonna mark it completely wrong. I think now he's gonna mark it completely wrong, cause I'm about to have. So what do I put on here? So they actually were under budget by $3.30.
Very good.
Other questions? Go ahead, Skylar.
I think it's the same one, but number 5.
Number 5. How much more or less did the Penders spend for all fixed expenses than the amount they budgeted? So all fixed expenses, let's see. See if I can look down through here and find, is that all, are all these fixed expenses? Oh no, fixed is down towards the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, is there like 4 of them?
Yeah.
So somebody help us out. On number 5, how much did they budget for fixed expenses?
We would add all of them together.
Right, add those, I think there's 4 of them in there, is that right? Add those 4 of them. $1,008.33.
Yeah.
Anybody else get that?
That's for amount budgeted.
Okay, and then figure out how much they spent. We add up the 4 and the spent column, right?
Yep.
908.33.
Anybody else get that?
Yep.
And then you minus them.
Now, are they gonna be positive or negative? They're gonna be positive again, right? Because they stayed under the budget. How much under the budget are they? $100?
Why did I even calculate?
So that's pretty good. They stayed under the budget, $100 on that category.
So 11 or 5 would be 100.
Yep. Other questions?
Number three.
Which one?
Number 3.
3? Determine for all categories how much more or less the amount spent is than the amount budgeted. So that's just filling in that column out there to the right. So what are we gonna do with each of those numbers? Minus them. So let's just run down through there. So for A, again, I can't read that, what the words say. Let me go back and get my glasses. Whatever A is, we subtract those two. You're gonna have to tell me whether it's a positive or a negative.
Negative.
A is gonna be a negative, subtract them, what do you come up with?
Negative 12,
60?
yeah,
B,
65 cents.
positive?
Yep.
C,
80.
80 what, $80?
Yeah, positive.
Positive?
0.
D was 0, it was even?
Yep.
Yeah.
How about E?
Negative 720.
Negative $7.20, how about F?
0.
That one was even also?
Yeah.
G,
Negative $16.70.
H,
Positive
$20,
20. Positive 28.25 for I.
28.25,
28.
is that what you said, 28.25?
Yeah.
That's right.
How many more we got? I'm trying to find the space here.
J, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
There's
7,
nothing
8,
S.
9, 10.
So we got a bunch. So J, hey, this is gonna confuse you that I'm going out of order here, way over here.
Negative 10.
Negative $10. Sorry, I had to stop and do my alphabet for a second. J, K, then what?
Negative 13.75.
Negative $13.75. L,
I.
What?
K, I.
Positive
oh,
15.
it's I, H-I-J-K.
J-L. That's a good. J-K-L.
Maybe
It's
think I
L.
didn't know my alphabet.
Dylan.
So what's
I know
L?
your alphabet.
15. There ain't no L in.
$15?
Yes, there is. It's right under K.
L in?
Yes, that's the alphabet. L-M-N-O-P.
M,
Positive 33.
positive $33.
Yeah.
N,
Negative $41.80.
negative $41.80.
Yeah.
O,
Negative
$18.40.
1840.
Yeah.
P,
0.
0. Q,
0.
R,
100.
positive 100.
Yeah.
And S,
0.
0.
now, if we went down through and added all those, the positives and the negatives, what would that tell us?
I'd say it's just positive.
It'd tell us how much either over or under they were for the whole month as far as their budgeting goes.
So for number 3, that's what we would do. Is
No, number 3 is just those answers right there. That's what they want on number 3, is just you to fill in that right-hand column of the boxes there. But if we wanted to figure out if this is our budget And the way our budget was set up, we wanted to figure out for the whole month, how much under budget we were, or how much over budget we were total. We would add them all up with the positives and negatives, and so just looking at this, let's see, if I go down through here, just to estimate here, it looks like we're about $12 and about $68, about $61 over, then $45 over, $65 over, or under, 55, that's about 83, 103, plus 60, that'd be 33, 60, that'd be 43, 76, and about 38, 76, 38. If we totaled that up, we're about $38 to the positive, somewhere around that. I bet if you added all those up, it'd come up somewhere about $38 that we were
Is that good?
in the black, yeah, because we had $38 extra. We budgeted all that stuff, but we ended up $38 under our budget for the month.
Every month could be different though.
Right, every month's gonna be a little different. That's why at the start of this chapter, you took 3 months, or 4 months, or 5 months, or however many months you wanna do, and you figure out how much you spend on each thing, and then you average them all up to try to see, okay, how much should I budget for the month? And it's gonna be a little different each month. A lot of things, and that's where it goes back to the fixed expenses. The fixed expenses, they're not gonna change. So your mortgage is, what was
Car
there,
insurance.
$625, it was gonna stay $625 every month. Now, that's sorta true
Well,
when you get down to the end of the year. If you're paying a bank mortgage, and we'll talk more about this when we get into mortgages and stuff. If you're paying a bank a mortgage, and this makes my wife irate every year, because you have it's called an escrow, and what an escrow is you put money into an account to pay your taxes and your insurance on your house. And the bank, if you have a mortgage, the bank forces you to have those things. And they force you to keep an escrow to put money in there, because they wanna make sure that your taxes and stuff is getting paid. Otherwise, they're gonna lose money, because they're gonna have to foreclose on the house, and if they foreclose on the house, they're probably not gonna get as much out of it as you were gonna give to them. So, they cause you to do that. Well, every year, my wife gets mad, because at the end of the year, our escrow ends up with less money in it than it should have had to pay the taxes and stuff. And so we end up, at the end of the year, paying the bank like $600 extra to pay taxes and for the insurance and everything. What would cause that? Why would?
the econ.
All right, so Preble County decides they wanna charge more taxes than they did last year, then all of a sudden our taxes go up, we gotta pay more in. And insurance, same way, insurance goes up.
What about like car loans, like the percentage? Does the percentage stay the same or every year different? Should it be the same?
The interest rate?
Yeah.
It should be the same as long as you've locked it in when you take out the car loan. So if you took out a car loan, or let's go with a house loan again. If you took out a house loan 2 years ago or a year ago, you're in a lot better shape than you would be taking out a house loan right now, because a year ago, the interest rate was about 2%. Now it's at like 7%. And that's why
That's why no one's buying houses.
nobody's buying houses right now. A few months ago, everybody was trying to buy houses.
That's why everybody's selling houses, cause they make more money.
Correct. Other questions on page 164? Hurry up, Valley's falling asleep.
7.
Number 7. Which personal expense did the Penders spend more on than they had budgeted? So looking down through there, for personal expense, what is that? That's about halfway down, isn't it? What's it got? Clothing, credit cards, and pocket money? Which ones did they spend more than they had budgeted for? That's,
Pocket money.
I, J, and K. So I, where's that, what do we do with I? Did they spend more on I? No, they were okay on I, J,
Okay.
and K, those two they spent more on. So what is that, pocket money and
Credit card.
credit cards?
That's gonna mess them up, giving out credit cards.
And that's another thing, as the government, as the Fed, you hear them talk about the Fed on the news and stuff, as the Fed pushes the interest rates back up, credit card interest rates go up, all the home loan interest rates go up, car loan interest rates go up, all that stuff goes up. The bad thing with most of that is, if you're buying a car from some dealership out at Richmond, and the interest rates are going up, so when they bought the car, it cost them more, are they gonna make less money this year on that car than they did last year? No. Cause what are they gonna do? They're gonna jack up the price and ship it on to the next person, who is the consumer.
But a lot of people buy in different states because there's different interest rates, like cars. They'll probably travel somewhere for lower interest rates.
Sometimes you will. Alright. What we're gonna do today is review. This is the notes for the review. You might wanna write some of this down. We'll go over some things on this.
Nope. We're gonna be able to use the notebook.
Yeah, I'll probably let you use your notes on this test.
For what? I'm not making a notebook.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell me.
We gotta write all this
And we're gonna write some stuff with it, so you might wanna just write down as we go. Record keeping, hopefully you know what record keeping is. Record keeping is just keeping track of your money. So some kind of record keeping. Expenditures, what were expenditures? Things that you do what? Things you spend money on. Living expenses. What are different living expenses?
Things you spend money on day to day.
So what, like, give me something that,
Rent.
Rent.
Rent, gas, water.
food, so on.
There's so many things. Clothes.
A budget. A budget's just what we were just talking about, just keeping records of how much you spend on each thing. Budget sheet. We had some of those budget sheets that I passed out, all kinds of different ones. The Penders, or whatever they were there, had their budget sheet that they had. What are some fixed expenses? Things that they're expenses that don't change. Give me some examples. Rent, mortgage. What else?
Car insurance.
Car insurance. Now, when we say they don't change, we mean that they don't change for like a year, right? So your car insurance, will change over years. You might only pay $1,000 this year, then next year they say, hey, we're jacking up your insurance, and it goes up something else. Annual expenses, what's that? All right, things that you pay, that's a yearly expense. What are some different kinds of annual expenses? Life insurance,
Could car insurance go back under there?
car insurance would be because again,
You could pay it yearly.
you could pay it yearly and you're better off to pay it yearly because they charge you less.
How much
but-
you save?
You'd have to figure that out on yours, so.
Okay, like by yourself.
So when you get, I'll try to remember, but when you get when you pay your next thing for car insurance, look at it, and it'll tell you. On most of them, on most of the statements, it'll say, if you pay a year, if you pay 6 months, if you pay 4 months, if you pay 3 months, if you pay each month, it'll have it split up there, different things. So I can't tell you for yours because different insurance companies gonna charge different amounts. I'll try to get a thing from my wife and get our bill and I'll bring it in and show you.
I could bring mine in.
I know, seems like last time I looked at ours, it's been a while. We were gonna save like $300 a year if we paid it all at once.
Yeah, I'll spend that somewhere else.
Well, that'd be a good thing, then we could spend it somewhere else instead of
But I
paying
wouldn't
them.
know where I spend that.
Wouldn't it be better than giving it to the insurance people?
That's true. Or you just don't run insurance.
Yeah, that always helps that way.
Don't get caught.
Your expense summary could be your budget sheet, so on, just keeping track of all that. What's an emergency fund?
What do you put back?
Like,
Money
Set aside.
if you go to the hospital.
for emergencies. All right, could be anything. It could be your car breaks down, it could be tree falls on your house, messes up your roof, whatever, but you got that money back for whatever that emergency is.
We'll put a tarp over the roof. I know this one guy, I think his tree fell on his trailer and like popped his water bed. And he just put a tarp over his trailer and he kept living there.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's kinda nasty. Looks gross. You can see his back door.
That's not
Looks
good.
worse than my house. No, it ain't me. My dad's old buddy. He's dating a dope babe now.
Few formulas here. I'll just circle them here so you can make sure you can see how they're separated. Short chapter, not a whole lot of formulas, but those are the 3 that we dealt with.
Which one's the most important right now? Probably the average monthly. Well,
They're all about the same.
they all mean the same. Yeah,
Probably the most important thing here, like what we were just doing, is what did you have to do with the 2 numbers that you had? Subtract them. So it's using this formula, but using it backwards, because you know what you budgeted, and you know what you spent, and you subtract the 2 instead of just adding them all up like this is saying. Remember, annual expenses, if you're dealing with annual expenses, to get the monthly share, you take whatever it is. So if your life insurance plan costs $1,000 a year, then to get it how much it costs each month, you divide that by 12.
I really think I need to go home and start budgeting on
Are you going to? Probably not.
gonna live on.
You know, the people who are very, very rich, guess what they do well?
I
They
don't
budget their money well.
I
That's
think
why
they're wrong.
they're sort of anal about how they spend their money and where the money goes and,
Dave Ramsey,
yep.
I hate people like that.
One guy
End up being very, people like Trump and those people that made all that money because they really, really watch where the money goes.
I watch it too, I watch it go to my thing, but I don't like those. But I watch where my money goes, too. I watch it go into my gas tank and not like those.
That's what it was last night. I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go cruise down the interstate. I didn't go
I
very
know
far.
Al was trying to go, trying to steal my tree.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you.
We weren't trying to take your tree.
On this one, this is probably the one that most people are gonna have the hardest problem with on the test. Average monthly expenditures. Remember, this is where we had like the first month, second month, third month. What do you do with all those? Add them up and then you divide it by 3 to find that average. Alright? So if first month you're spending $50 on grocery, then the second month you spent $75 on groceries, then $25, you add those 3 together, divide by 3, and that tells you your average monthly expenditure that you should budget for groceries. So in this case, it'd be $50. So when you go to set up your budget sheet, like the Penders had there on that problem we were just doing, you'd say, all right, I want to budget 50, and then we see how much we spend more or less than that, and raise it from there. Sorry.
That'd be some cheap groceries. Yeah, a lot of crackers. Cold, it's hot in here.
I'm burning up.
That's not Dad's job.
All right, couple things I want you to do. I want you to come up here, and you're going to grab, first of all, the passes, and then right next to the passes is the review packet. We're gonna do something with that review packet.
Thank you.
Also, as you're doing that, I want you to find a partner. A partner.
2.
That means 2.
Dose. What's Spanish? Dose. That's it.
And I was like, cause I said about the 60, you're doing like.
You're on the wrong homework.
Oh, there we go.
Mom, look at that. That might not help.
Sorry, Landon, I shouldn't be
Wait.
laughing at you.
So since I still got all my practice last quarter, they were all over, right? Well, I'm gonna start getting.
Use them, we don't really. It's first block. I think we should get some extra credit for them or something.
Hey, can I take this one though?
Sit back down. I got it. Yep. You ready?
No, not yet.
Okay, you're staying.
Don't lose the hall passes and keep the review packet out. We're gonna do some of it together. Again, find a partner. A partner, so get with the partner.
Twice.
Still, and that's why you annoy people sometimes. Focus on Dylan.
That's why you're my
If he wakes up.
Each one of you needs to have out a piece of paper so you can work problems out. Well, actually, yeah, you probably need a piece of paper out. Calculator. Anna, you not going to participate? Is that a yes or no?
No.
That's not an answer. It's a yes or no. That's why I said that.
Yeah. No.
Kayla, will you do me a favor and be honest, partner?
Do we need one paper group?
No. Each one of you should have your own paper.
Wait, do we?
Just relax for a minute, all right? I'm gonna explain it here in 1 second. But I forgot to do something else, so I gotta figure this
So
out.
do we each get one dice? Or
No.
one
Well,
person?
I'll just explain it right now because Kyla's not gonna quit asking questions.
Shut up.
So this is what we're gonna do. We'll start over there with Aiden's group, and you can go ahead and start working problems if you want. All right, while I'm trying to get what I forgot to do. We'll start with Aiden's group. They're gonna roll their dice. It's got 2 numbers on it. So when you roll them, if I look at Elijah's there, Elijah's got a 1 and a 2. I don't care which number they pick. They could either pick 1, 2, which is what number? 12. Or they could pick 2, 1, which is what number? 21. And you're going to work that problem. All right? You're going to have 3 minutes to work the problem. No more, no less. When I come around, I'm going to check each person or each group's answer, see if you got it correct, then we'll go over it. For every one you get correct, I'll add points onto your test score next time. Okay? Does everybody understand all that? So we'll just, you only need the dice like once, and then we'll go around the room, then when we get back around to the groups, so on. So you're just rolling that one time. I know it's sort of corny, but I just thought it'd be something a little different to do. Now, if Elijah sits here and he rolls his dice the whole time and gets on my nerves, then his group won't get to roll their dice ever again, because I'm gonna take them, right? Which question, Seth?
Do we take turns on throwing the dice, or?
That's up to you guys. Probably not with Aiden, because Aiden said you're not allowed to touch the dice, Seth, I heard.
You might do it like a football.
Can I make it fast to go use the bathroom?
You must be hearing things.
Yeah.
Listen to film first. Superstars being Brand to Sonic size.
So, go ahead and start working on some of the problems. That'll help you to get, even if you just start on them. Maybe we roll that one and you already got it done. You don't have to worry about not getting it done in the 3 minutes. While I'm trying to do one last thing here.
I must the dice.
That's all